the way that he did. Mayfield steps up, throws, picked, intercepted, and back the other way, William Jackson down the sideline, and there's the first turnover for the Cleveland Browns tonight as he flashed in front of the rookie tight end Harrison.
Welcome to the Disturbance, hosted by Dave DeVaugh.
Coming up on The Disturbance, we take a quick look back at last night's Thursday night football game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, and I will tell you why. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, all is not well with your starting quarterback, Baker Mayfield. All of that, and trust me, a whole lot more coming up on the big show today. Now, it is Friday. I'm so excited. A huge weekend of sports in front of us. We've got the U.S. Open. The golf version of the U.S. Open is on television right now as I speak to you. We've got college football, and of course, we've got the National Football League, which kicked off its weekend on Thursday night, as the Cincinnati Bengals went into Cleveland and came out with their second loss of the season. 35-30 was the score there. Now, I want to say this. There's been a lot of talk in the media in the last 5 or 6 days about how bad Baker Mayfield played against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan or if you're a National Football League fan in general, you should not have been surprised in any way by the performance that the Cleveland Browns put on against the Baltimore Ravens in week 1 of this National Football League season. Yes, I know the Cleveland Browns are talented. They've got Nick Chubb at running back. They've got a fantastic second string running back, which would be a first string running back on any other team in Kareem Hunt. The best 1-2 punch, I agree with Troy Aikman from his comments last night on Thursday Night Football. The best 1-2 punch in football in the backfield of the Cleveland Browns. An okay offensive line, a D-line that can occasionally get after you. You've got Ward in the secondary, and of course, the former Minnesota Vikings, Sendejo, who is good for at least 1 or 2 15-yard penalties a game. So you've got that intimidation factor in the secondary. Then at starting quarterback, as you all know, it's Baker Mayfield, who went like 16 for 23 against the Cincinnati Bengals in the Thursday night football game. He looked great, right? He looked solid during the first half of that game. And then it happened. In the fourth quarter of the game, the true Baker Mayfield stood up and he threw that absolutely horrific interception, which of course we went ahead and opened the show with. And the reason I wanted to put that up as opposed to his touchdown passes, which one of them was like, they were both wide open, to be honest. The pass to OBJ was a great pass. He did it on a rollout. He did it on the run. Kevin Stefanski, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, knows that's something that they are going to need to do with Baker Mayfield if this team is going to be successful at all. So it didn't surprise me there. And then his touchdown pass to Kareem Hunt, he actually almost missed it. You go back and watch the tape. You watch his feet and watch how they come off the ground, and you can see he almost threw that ball out of bounds. Anyways, the Browns went on and they won 35-30. And I'm not trying to sit here and bash Baker Mayfield because there's enough people in the media doing that already. All I'm trying to say at this point about Baker Mayfield and this Cleveland Browns team is, on paper, at the very least, this should be a 9-7 football team. But the issue is, I do not trust Baker Mayfield. I do not trust the Baker Mayfield from the last 24 months of his National Football League career. And if you're a Browns fan, congrats on beating a team that you were supposed to beat in the first place. Look, there was no way you were supposed to lose this game at home on Thursday Night Football against a rookie quarterback who, by the way, you barely got to. Who, by the way, didn't throw a single pick in last night's game. Who, by the way, dropped back to pass 61 times in this game against your defense and completed 37 passes against your defense, Cleveland. Look, the Cleveland Browns, 9-7, is as high as you could expect this team to go. They've got plenty of talent, but the place where you need to have the most talent, and when I get on Baker Mayfield, it isn't his leadership ability in Hulu commercials or in Progressive insurance commercials. It's not that I don't like his swagger. I like Baker's swagger. But did you see him at the end of the game last night as Joe Burrow, who didn't give up, and more on Joe Burrow here in a minute, but didn't give up at all. Baker Mayfield sitting on the sidelines, on the bench, hanging out with Jarvis Landry, who, like your purple hair, Jarvis, and then OBJ on the other side. It was a Baker Mayfield sandwich. OBJ's hair color last night, I believe, was like a cream white color of some sort. And they're sitting there hanging out, and they're obviously going to win the game. And there's no smiles on their face. It's just serious. It's unhappy. They didn't even seem like they were going to do anything. You know, if you look back at the disinterest of the Los Angeles Clippers a couple nights ago, and you look at the post-game press conference that went on there, it was just disinterest from that team in the second half of that game once they realized they were going to lose. And this was a Cleveland Browns team that was winning 35-30. Something is not right with Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure we're ever going to be able to actually pinpoint it, other than to say maybe Baker Mayfield is who Baker Mayfield is. Maybe Baker Mayfield isn't going to be a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. Maybe Baker Mayfield's really just going to be a bottom tier quarterback in the NFL. And that normally means teams give up on you at some point. You enter the backup quarterback realm. And, you know, where Ryan Fitzpatrick has lived for the last 10 years of his National Football League career very successfully. Maybe Baker Mayfield turns into one of those placeholder quarterbacks around the NFL. You know, the guy you bring in when you've got another young quarterback that you really believe in, and you need somebody who's just going to hold things down while you figure out how to bring up this young quarterback on your team. To me, that is who Baker Mayfield is at this point. For those people out there that are thinking Baker Mayfield's going to somehow turn a corner and is going to somehow turn into this top 5 or top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, there is nothing on tape to indicate that that is going to happen, especially over the last 24 months. And keep in mind, this is a team with an excellent running game, a pretty strong offensive line, and as I mentioned, a slightly above average defensive line. This is a team that should be in the playoffs this year, but probably won't be because of their starting quarterback. Now, speaking of starting quarterbacks, now I don't know if you know what you witnessed last night, because I know as I was watching this, I was like, I can't believe what I'm actually witnessing. And that is the second game of Joe Burrow's career with the Cincinnati Bengals. And there were a lot of things that I liked, some things that I didn't like. But one thing I do have to say is that kid, despite being down, never gave up in this game, to the point that he actually beat the Cleveland Browns spread. The Browns were supposed to win by 6 games last night, and he came back at the end of the game. And if you took the Browns, you lost that bet too, because they ended up losing or winning by just 5 points. That being said, Joe Burrow, 37 for 61 last night. They had, what was it, like 7 or 8 more first downs. They had 7 more first downs than the Cleveland Browns did. How long has Baker Mayfield been in the league? They held the ball for 33 minutes versus the Browns holding the ball for like 26 minutes. Baker Mayfield got outshined by a rookie quarterback last night that had no preseason. No preseason. And you can just see the leadership in his eyes. With that, go ahead and play a snippet of this post-game press conference.
Just losing. Losing isn't very fun. This might be the only time in my sporting career that I've lost 2 games in a row. Doesn't feel very good. I know guys in there are hurting. We're going to come back to work tomorrow and try to get this thing right. Losing is unacceptable to me, to everybody in there, to Coach Taylor, to everybody in this organization. So we're just going to have to get it fixed.
Look, I don't know about you, but after seeing the post-game press conference, after seeing him perform last night against Cleveland, I have to say, I know it's just his second game of his career. Joe Burrow says all of the right things. He's doing enough of the right things on the field at this point of his career. I can't really knock the way Burrow has played. He threw 3 touchdowns last night. And if A.J. Green had actually showed up in this game, speaking of Kawhi Leonard disinterested and Paul George disinterested, the football version of that was A.J. Green last night. How many balls did A.J. Green drop? How many balls did A.J. Green not actually having a chance to drop because he just gave up on him completely? I'm just saying something is wrong with A.J. Green. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what the deal is, but there's definitely something not right there. Look, Joe Burrow, what we witnessed last night out of Joe Burrow, a rookie quarterback, was pretty impressive. Far more impressive than what we watched out of Baker Mayfield, in my opinion. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the Big Disturbance. You should see that big red button there. And if you're listening to this on any of the other 100 plus platforms for podcasts across this universe, please go ahead and subscribe. For the Disturbance, I am Dave DePaul, reminding you that if you're interested in more semi-witty sports commentary, make sure you check out our completely revamped and updated Mighty.Rip website.
The Disturbance is a production of the Mighty Rip